Hi everyone, so welcome to today's video. Thanks for joining me on this one brand video. Today it's all about JOAH Beauty. It is a K-beauty inspired makeup and skincare line that you can purchase online and through CVS stores and CVS.com. So I purchased several products to try this line out. Since it is K-beauty inspired, it's more focused on healthy skin, good ingredients in their skincare to give you the best skin health. And the makeup products, they look really pretty. And the vibe that I'm getting from this is just more natural, just kind of enhancing your natural beauty. I like the new packaging. They've recently done a rebrand. I think it's pretty recent. I'm not familiar with the exact timeline, but I remember seeing some of these products or this line in my local CVS stores many years ago, and the products did look different as far as the components. I'm not sure if the formulas themselves have been reformulated because I never really got around to trying, believe it or not, the line of products that they offer. They do have skincare and makeup, so this is just going to be focused on the makeup for today. So I've got all my goodies out here on my makeup vanity and I'm ready to get started. So if that sounds good and you're interested in this line, then just continue watching. I'm starting the complexion off with the Blurring Matte Primer with vitamin B5. This is a pore minimizing matte primer that is supposed to smooth your skin, and it's infused with skincare that absorbs oil without stripping moisture, hydrates as it preps. So it all sounds good. I'll show you some up-close shots of the packaging. I do like that sort of light beige with the soft kind of muted purple tones. Some of them have a little bit of a brighter kind of lilac-y type of purple, but I like the font, the packaging, everything about it, A to Z, is really nice and seems a lot more elevated for a drugstore brand. So I'm going to start with the matte primer, and I'm going to use my fingers just to apply this formula. You could kind of scribble this on if you're interested in doing that, or using your fingers. This feels really soft, makes the skin feel quite silky feeling, and I can tell that it's just smoothing over my skin. As far as skin prep is concerned, all I've done is my skincare, and my skincare has only been on maybe 20 minutes. It is early in the morning, so we'll see how this all works out with my base skincare products, and I will list all of my skincare down below for you. It does feel like it's added just a touch of hydration, but not overly hydrated where I feel like it would interfere with my oil production throughout the day. So far, this feels really nice. Under the foundation category, they did have two options. The first one was a peptide luminous foundation, and I just feel like the description of that just didn't seem like something I would be interested in trying, just because I do have combination oily skin, and anything with a luminous finish tends to be a little bit more hydrating, more dewy looking. But then I saw that they had another option, and that one definitely kind of piqued my curiosity. It's a skin tint, but in a stick form. So most times that you see a skin tint online, in stores, marketed in the beauty community, it's usually a liquid or a cream, but you rarely see skin tints in stick form. Usually stick form products are foundations when we're talking about the foundation category, but this is a luminous skin tint with 3% luminizing peptide. I ordered the shade Fair to Light with Cool. I thought I had ordered the neutral, but we're just gonna have to make this work. So you twist it up just like a typical stick product, and you could just go ahead and swipe this on, and we'll see what the coverage is going to be like. I'm expecting very minimal coverage. I'm thinking that this is going to be something that is going to just kind of even out the skin tone and just kind of make the skin look a little bit more perfected. Not necessarily something that's going to add a lot of coverage. I'm going to go in with the Sigma F48, a dense packed bristle brush, which I think is going to be ideal for maintaining the coverage that this is going to give me. And I do feel like that cool tone just looks a little bit, dare I say, a little orange? I'm not sure. Maybe it's just the lights here. So this F48 brush from Sigma did a nice job at blending and spreading this product. I did build this up a little bit in certain areas. I do have some imperfections that you can see. The nature of this product is more lightweight. It's thin. It's just giving a bit of a tint to the skin as a skin tint would. So it's not going to provide a lot of coverage. That's where concealer comes into play if you have extra areas that you want more coverage in. I have some blemishes. I have one here and one on my chin. I have some scarring from just previous acne breakouts from years ago. I have some sunspots and some freckles that you can still see. And I feel like overall it just kind of evened everything out. The shade is just a tad dark. Personally, I feel like I would want to set this. I wouldn't want to leave this just as is, just because this does feel Just a little bit more plump, not sticky by any means, but there is a feel to it, so it's something to note. I'm going to go into concealer next, and this is the Hydrating Eye Serum Concealer with ceramides and peptides. And I will have to just kind of give them credit for infusing their makeup products with skincare. I think, to me personally, that's a bonus. It's one of those types of concealers that has that puffy tip, which we've seen a lot of these types of components before. So it's very satisfying to me to kind of click it. There we go. So after several clicks, I was here for quite some time actually getting this to click up. So it doesn't come up quite as fast as some other products with these puffy tips. So I'm just going to do a few little dots. And yeah, this definitely runs quite dark. I did light neutral, right? Is that the shade that I ordered? Yeah, I ordered shade light neutral, and I do feel like it looks kind of dark. And it looks to have a more kind of yellow undertone, even though it says neutral. So I'm going to use my beauty sponge to blend this out. Literally no effort at all to blend this in. Wow. I do like how this is blending in really nicely. And this does look very nice under the eyes. You can tell that there was some coverage, which is great because I do need some coverage under the eyes. But it doesn't look heavy, and it doesn't feel like I put anything on. So I'm going to do the same thing on this side. And I'm going to blend it in with the same sponge. So I'm taking just a little bit extra concealer down the center of the face where I want a little bit more coverage. Since that skin tint was pretty light and sheer, I want more coverage, especially here on my chin where I do have some blemishes happening here. And I feel like that definitely toned down the redness a little bit. You can still see it a bit, and that's fine. I'm not too concerned about that, but I did want to tone down a little bit of redness, and I have a little spot here. So let's cover that. And that's blending in beautifully. I do like this concealer. I have some spots here and here where I have a blemish. To set my face and the under eyes, I'm going to use the loose setting powder. It's a lightweight matte finish powder. I wanted to point out the packaging. I like that plastic cap that comes attached to it. So it covers that sifter so it doesn't make a mess. So you pull it up, there's a little tab there, and then you can just dump out this powder. And a lot of powder comes up when you dip it and turn it over. The actual holes in the sifter are quite large compared to some other ones. So I have a ton of powder that I'm not going to use. So I'm going to have to pour this back in there, but I do like how that just keeps it closed and mess free. So that's a nice little touch there. I'm going to use my powder puff. This is a Sonia Kashuk one, and I'm going to set the under eye area. I'm also going to use that powder to set my face with the same powder puff, just because my skin does feel quite dewy and feels more hydrated, just a little bit more plump. And I feel like as the day goes on and my oils start to produce, it's going to make my skin look a little bit more shiny. So I'm going to just set my entire face. I typically would just set my T-zone, which is my troublesome areas, but I feel like these layers of products are adding hydration and moisture. So I feel like this is a nice bit of insurance to make sure that everything kind of stays in place all day. I did also purchase the Extreme Setting Spray, so that kind of is something that intrigued me. It's got hyaluronic acid and some skincare benefits, so we're going to use this at the very end. One thing that I do not have from this line that they don't sell yet that I noticed on their website or in store was a bronzer. I did think about purchasing the concealer in a deeper shade for that purpose, but then I decided not to because I wasn't sure if I was going to even like this concealer formula. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to sub in a bronzer from my own collection. But before I do that, I want to go into brows. I picked up the brow pencil and gel. The shade that I ordered was ash brown, and I like this component. I like the packaging. It's a double-ended product, so the top part has that sort of angle kind of teardrop shaped pencil, and then you have a gel that is tinted to match the pencil. So these two-in-one products are just easy, very minimal. You have both products that you need to fill in your brows, set them into place, and I'm going to fast forward through this portion. I just want to use the gel lightly to set them, not necessarily to add more color, because I feel like that pencil definitely filled them in quite nicely actually, and very quickly. Here's the before and then the after. I do like it. I do think that the shade is fine. It's definitely doable. and that was a very quick process, so I do like this. I'm gonna do the other brow off camera, and then I'll be right back. Both brows are done, filled and set. I did my bronzer off camera, and now we get to do a little blush. I am going to use their Serum Blush Tint. This one has ceramides and vitamin B5, again, infusing skincare into their products, so it aligns with the vision of the brand. And on the back, it says it's a moisturizing liquid blush that delivers long-lasting wash of color and allowing your skin to show through. The shade that I have is Poppy Pink. I'm going to go in with a Profusion brush, and I'm going to start tapping and building this up just lightly. And this seems to be a really pretty sort of bright pastel pink that still looks quite natural. And I am still able to see that color, even though it says it's a kind of sheer wash of color. I do think it shows up really nicely, and it's a pretty sort of natural color. I'm gonna take a little bit of what's left and go over the nose, but that looks nice, looks fresh, looks youthful. I like it. Oops, I feel like I put too much on this side, but maybe there you can kind of see that bright kind of pastel pink. Well, I definitely did put too much, but you can see the color a little bit better, I hope. And it is one that seemingly looks like can be built up. I will be spending some time here to blend this out. Don't worry, we're gonna have both sides looking the same. Let's add some more to this side. Okay, so this blush was definitely a challenge to blend. So here's some thoughts. I like the shade, and I feel like this side blended quite nicely and a little bit easier for me. This side, however, applying too much from the start was a mistake. It is very patchy right in through here. It is lifting what's underneath, and I'm trying to add a little bit more and blend, but at the same time I'm trying to diffuse and tone down what's already there. So it's kind of one of those things where I am just applying to fix that spot, but then continuing to blend to tone it down. I added a little bit of concealer over the top because it was very intense. I didn't think it was going to add that much color, but I will swatch it for you so you can see. It is pretty bright and very bold, even though it's supposed to be a light sort of wash of color. If you put too much of this on, it definitely is one that you will see. And I think the demo that I just did proved that point. So maybe using my finger probably would have been better. Maybe I can try to help diffuse that kind of patchiness there, but it is lifting. And the more I add, the more it's lifting. So I feel like I'm just gonna have to leave it alone and just, it is what it is. Next up is a little bit of highlight. This is the Glow Liquid Highlighter in the shade Pink Dawn. This looks to be a really nice icy pink, kind of cool toned highlighter. This is kind of giving me that Rare Beauty highlighter vibes. Just by looking at it, I don't know, because I have not applied it, what it looks like, but I like this shade, and I think there's two different options to choose from. Just tap this on. Oh yeah, that's pretty. There is some glow. And if you look really, really closely, you will be able to see a subtle kind of hint of silver little specks, but it's like micro specks, super, super tiny. So it's doable for me, but it's something to note that if you get really, really close, you will see some little silvery specks. And I feel like everything is blending better on this side of my face, and this side just doesn't want to cooperate today. Today's eye look is going to be super, super simple. It's just going to be liner and mascara. I didn't see on their website or in store any actual like eyeshadow palettes. I don't remember if they even had like liquid eyeshadows, so I just chose the eyeliner to try. This is the Longwear Kajal waterproof eyeliner, and I picked up the shade Smoky Brown. So what I like about this eyeliner is that it is one of those twist up automatic ones, so you don't have to worry about sharpening. It is a little bit wider than your typical liner, so it's kind of like a cross between a liner pencil and a shadow stick. So you can see the actual size of it there. It does come with a sharpener on the opposite end, so you get a nice sized little smudger, which is nice. You can create a smoky lash line. You can use this all over as an eyeshadow. So I like that. And they do give you, if I can get this off to show you here, they do give you a sharpener to keep the point of the actual liner sharp, so you can get more crisp, precise line, but you don't actually have to sharpen the component itself. My lids are prepped and ready to go, so let's go ahead and work with that eyeliner and see what we get here. Okay, so it's very pigmented and creamy. It's gliding on very, very nicely. So I'm gonna do a pretty thick line, And then I'm going to go into that smudger on the opposite end and work that back and forth just to smudge this out. And I'm doing one side at a time just because this is a long wear formula. So with that, I'm just going to assume that it's going to stay on for a long time. So I think it's just better to do one eye, get it just right, and then move on to the other eye. And this is not really blending very well. I'm having some trouble here. Not good. A little applicator, as you can see, the size compared to my eye is a nice size for smudging this out. But the eyeliner itself sets so incredibly fast that you don't really have a lot of playtime, which is not ideal. I don't know how I feel about this. Let's try this other side. I'm going to tight line with this. This might be better for tight lining than it is for creating a smoky, thick lash line and using it to kind of smudge. I feel like I don't know, I'm kind of torn. I like the shade and the creaminess of it, but it sets just too fast for me. So I feel like if I'm trying to get myself ready and be quick out the door, this is not what I'm going to reach for, because this is just too much work and it's just not, it's not wanting to cooperate. So the idea and the theory behind it is nice, but it just is not performing as I expected. I feel like my liner is pretty sloppy. It's kind of patchy. Some areas look kind of more smooth and more pigmented, and then there's little bald spots. I'm not thrilled with this. I don't know how to fix this really. Let me talk you through what I did to salvage this as best as I can. It's not perfect by any means. If I had the time, I would take this off and start again. But I don't have the time to do that today. So here's what I ended up doing. I took my L'Oreal Lace Shadow Stick in Magnetic Bronze number 230. With my finger, I went over the entire liner and brought that up towards the crease. Then I added a little bit of my Milani bronzer with a crease brush to add a little bit more definition and warmth in the crease. That is the same bronzer that I'm using on my face. Took that bronzer under the lower lashes and then finished the look off with the Extend Lash from MCO Beauty, which is a tubing formula. I did not purchase the mascara for JOAH just because I wasn't really interested in it. The wand looks like a lot of other fuller mascara wands that are out there in the market, and I just didn't feel like it was going to be that special. I don't know, I had a feeling that it wasn't going to wow me, and I'm glad that I didn't purchase it because I have some really great ones in my collection that I would like to continue using. So that is what I did to remedy the eye situation. Is it perfect? No. Am I thrilled with the look? No. I feel better about it because of the L'Oreal Shadow Stick and the bronzer. Those two formulas are beautiful, and I know that they work for me. It's just the liner. I think if this continues to wear well in my waterline, that's how I'm going to use this liner going forward, because I did pay for this myself with my own money, so I do want to use these products and not just throw them away. So that's my 2 cents on that formula with the eyeliner. It's just not my favorite. So let's go ahead and do a lip combo for today. I have the Watercolor Velvet Lip Tints. I only picked up one shade just to try out. The shade is Vivid Pink, and it has that typical doe foot applicator that actually has a kind of pointed triangular tip, and it kind of gets wider at the base, and there's a hole in the center where a lot of the formula sort of sits in there, as you can see there. Oh, it's very thin, very watery. And here is a look at the watercolor tint in Vivid Pink. So the actual product itself is very thin on the lips. It feels like a stain. I feel like personally for me, it's missing something. I need a little bit more of a substantial lip. I'm used to using lip liners, lipsticks, and glosses to create, to me, a full lip look. And this is just more of a stain kind of vibe, a more popsicle kind of lip look. It feels like there's nothing there, and it almost looks like nothing. It looks like my lips are stained this way. So if you like a more stain effect to your lips, then you may enjoy this formula. But for me personally, I need more, so I feel like I'm going to have to add some liner next time, maybe pair it with a gloss or a lipstick. This is pretty intense for being a sort of watercolor type of product, so there is a lot of pigment, something to note with that. Let's go ahead and use that Extreme Setting Spray really quickly. Let's see what that mist is like. Oh, that's pretty fine. My thoughts on the setting spray: the mister is very fine, and it created a nice fine, like wide mist, so I feel like just a few sprays kind of covered my entire face, so that's good. I will keep you posted on these base products, so the primer, the spray with the actual loose powder, seeing if those kind of trio of products really helps extend the wear of the makeup. Just the overall consensus here with the way my makeup is looking, I don't feel like I'm wowed by anything in particular. I think the only thing that I am enjoying right now is just the brow product and the concealer. I like the thinness of it, the coverage of the blend. But as far as everything else, right now, I'm not really thrilled with it. It's just kind of meh. It's just meh. I don't know what else to say. I feel like I don't really care for the lip look. I feel like this product requires a little bit more. So liner, maybe a little bit of lipstick mixed with it, or gloss. These potentially could be good. Again, I would have to leave you some wear notes in the description box, so expand that if you're interested in knowing how all of this is going to wear. I may try these again some other day just to kind of try the formulas and maybe seeing if pairing it with some of my other favorites and kind of mixing it together, maybe I'll enjoy them a little bit more. But as of right now, I'm just not really thrilled with it. I really had high hopes when I started this video, and I was excited because these formulas have skincare benefits, they have good ingredients, they're easily accessible, they have a good price point. So everything about it just seems so appealing to me, and I just wanted to give it a go. And unfortunately, it's just not really wowing me. So if you've tried the JOAH products, what are your favorites? What do you think about the line? What's your experience? If you want to share that with me, I would love to hear from you in the comment section. I hope that this video was helpful. Thanks for being here, for watching. The description box is going to have everything listed and linked for you down below. Don't forget to subscribe for more videos like this. I post every Tuesday and every Friday, and I look forward to seeing you on Instagram. My username pops up here on the screen, and we can be friends there. Take care, you guys, and I will talk to you very soon. Bye-bye.